Hello Tracy, it's wonderful to meet you today. You call yourself a textile artist and you create still life and landscapes in thread.
That's correct.
So the thread is really a continuation of your drawing practice.
Yes, as a child I loved to draw. I mean, I've been both embroidering, doing hand embroidery, traditional hand embroidery, and drawing since I was very young. And I used to do these very, very fine pencil sketches, either just pencil or colored pencil. And what I do now is actually an extension of that. I'm just using thread rather than the colored pencils. The bumblebees, the bees, and the butterflies are our native pollinators, and I'm fascinated with them, and they're so small. We take them for granted, and we don't realize what an important part they play in our ecosystem. So to make this, Rugosa rose has 5 petals. I stitch each petal individually, and then I bring them together to form the rose, and all the anthers and stigma I've sewn through a process called needle weaving. So that's all a single thread woven back and forth and back and forth. The bumblebee is an embroidery technique called turkey tufting. So it's like making a carpet, and you have all these loops and then you snip them so that you end up with a fuzzy thing that looks like a bumblebee. And the wings are silk organza that have been stitched with silk thread, and they're mounted on copper wire. And that gives them their shape and their ability to stay there. All of the sepals are mounted on copper wire, and it's a single thread woven back and forth. It's called needle weaving, and the wire gives them the stiffness so that they can stand out.
So I just want to mention again that, for example, these petals in white, it is all 100% colored by the thread.
That's correct.
There's no fabric that we can see here. It's the same for the leaves and everything else. So everything we see is thread. There's absolutely no color. There's not a millimeter of fabric that we can see. It's absolutely extraordinary.